Hello, everybody, and welcome to this brand new episode of Music to Live for with Shanti. I'm your host, Shanti Peppolini. Today, with me, the Swiss mezzo-soprano Anna Nero. What we are waiting for? Let's go!
Check this out. Music to live for with Shanti.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this brand new episode of Music to Live for with Shanti. I'm your host, Shanti Peppolini, and today I'm here with a singer from Switzerland. Hi, Hannah. How are you doing?
Hi Shanti, I'm doing very well, and you?
Yes, I was thinking about my background because I noticed that in the last episode I always change small things, and in the beginning there was more details and everything. But noticed that I wanted to change something, but then I just say I go with the flow and I let, just say improvising. Like I got some
Yeah,
more albums hanging in the background and everything, but I say no, it's okay like this. Sometimes it's also nice to show the people that you are work in progress and
yeah.
not just
No, no,
everything you need
always.
to set up. Well, welcome to the podcast. As usual, I'll let you introduce yourself for a guest because the podcast is not just on YouTube, so videos, but it's also audio. So please, the stage is yours.
Hello everybody, my name is Anna Nero. I'm a mezzo-soprano. I'm an opera singer from Switzerland. I'm delighted to be here to have a talk with you. Yeah, let's see where it goes, our conversation.
Yes, for this first time here on the podcast, music to with Shanti is kind of my experience, like put personal experience, professional experience, put on podcast. Like I always learn a lot from other people in my business,
Hmm.
uh, behind the curtains,
Yeah,
on the stage, and I always learn a lot of the personal and emotional how can I say side of being an artist or working in arts, and that's gave me a lot of knowledge that brought me where I'm right now. And I
yeah.
always thought if that could be like an interesting podcast, and so the idea is just I talk with somebody about our experiences. And
Hmm.
this could be maybe more professional, it could be like more personal, but this is depend on the guest, and it's very, very spontaneous. And the goal is to give the people out there who just don't know what happened on stage
Yeah,
and behind the curtains, but also young musicians, young singers, or people that want to work
yeah,
in the management, like some insight, some new tips, or some point of view on the reality, because sometimes it seems that when you see the final product but
hmm,
you don't know what really happened, like, and so this is something that it's very dear to me. So no stress, this is just a talk, and this
okay.
is what I think, this is the power I think of the whole things, that it doesn't really have to happen just on podcast. It's really something that you can bring out in your
Mm.
daily life, and it's always important and always a useful experience. I remember meeting you a
Yeah.
couple of years ago,
Mm.
and we were working for an association in Switzerland, in Zurich. And I found, if I wasn't wrong, there was with the Gorilla Classic
Oh, really?
project.
Did we
Yes,
meet there? I
yes.
honestly don't know, but I think we have worked together several times, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And then we stayed in contact. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe it was.
Yeah, I think that was the first time, but and then I follow. I mean, thanks social media. I remember following you,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so your experiences and everything. And I was so, oh, this is very interesting because I noticed that what you were showing or what you were saying and all that kind of experience, um, it was very interesting the way you want to show your profession and what you're doing, because
Yeah.
this is we were telling before, this is definitely one of the main topics of this episode, and I think one of the most catching, more interesting is the fact how would you present yourself, or
Hmm.
would you brand yourself. And I think, and this is an important topic because I got some students from the music academy just come to me and say, hey, I was thinking this and that, I don't know how to. It sounds always not so positive using that word, but like how should I sell
Yeah.
myself, my product, what I have to offer? And I don't think there is one answer, but yeah, I'm very curious to understand what you learn in these years.
It's actually very interesting because when I look back on my master thesis that I wrote, it was about social media and the influence we're going to have with social media, and that was a little bit ahead, like way ahead. But back then already, I knew that this is going to be something, and then over the years, I went through many changes. I think at first it was a lot of fun and I posted a lot of like also more hilarious stuff, just like I was always into small weird details from our profession. There are many small like funny things, but now I have really decided on mm, another content that I like to share. But yeah, I think it's important to have a vision in mind.
Yeah, that's
And
interesting. Sorry,
it
because
chance,
you
yeah,
just said that you were trying to show like f even more like funny things or curious
yeah,
things. Like um, for me, the approach for Mike's difficulties were should I entertain, like being funny on
yeah.
social, or showing really the real struggle, let's say.
I think it depends if you're really a funny person. I mean, if people in real life enjoy your jokes, of course you should, you know. But if you're not, if you're like a really serious person, no, don't do it. It all depends on your character. I think with your social media, I can really feel you. That's how you are. And then some people maybe think it's too much, or maybe some people think, what the fuck, or whatever. But that's, yeah, I mean, as long as it's not harmful,
Hmm.
um, in any kind of ways, you just present yourself the way you want to be seen. I think it's also a big chance to get to choose to create how people see you. So, yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. And you work especially on social media, or but you also have a website. So how is the balance in between? Because one of the question was, if nowadays social media was so good, do I really
Mm.
need a website?
I think I mean, for me, it was a huge struggle to let go of my old website that I had for like 10 years that I set up during my studies, and it was really emotional to let it go, but it was really good. But I think for professional reasons, it's always good to have a website also with the dates where people can hear you sing, um, in what other projects you're involved. I think it's good to have both still, even with
Hmm.
social media. I think, yeah, it's good to have both.
Yeah, it sounds more like a standard. Like I
Mm.
also kind of struggle in the beginning because say, okay, I got Instagram. At the time, I had the Facebook again, and then I open also LinkedIn, and I got so different
I
portals,
think
and
nowadays
then
you have to do everything.
yeah, right, and then but I was asking myself, but people watch me on social media, do they really need the website or like? But then I just
No,
discovered
but
that
you have different clients. You have
yeah.
different people who are using different kinds of social media. For example, you still have Facebook, you still have Instagram, TikTok. These are all different kinds of people. So
Mm.
the good thing is, if you can use the same material for like different platforms, but for example, TikTok doesn't work at all like Instagram. So
Mm.
for some things you can do it, but yeah, it's
Yes, for example, I honestly I deleted my TikTok because for two reasons. First, I saw that it's not that I was looking for numbers, but I wasn't. It seems to me like kind of more a waste of time because I wasn't posting regularly, and then I was yeah binge watching every time,
funnily, I met some really cool people on TikTok because I think the vibe is more, I don't know, for me, open. So I reach out to people, and I met some cool people there. I don't know.
Yeah, I recorded an episode with a producer from LA, and he
Hmm.
was telling me it's fun part that many punk like pop punk bands that are kind of
Yes.
trendy right now, they're really developing and being
Hmm.
able to be seen thanks to apps like TikTok more than Instagram, for example.
For me, in the beginning, it was also about giving opera a platform because at
Mhm.
first I checked out TikTok and I realized there's no content about opera. And I
Yeah.
thought that was really scary
hmm
because if people can't see it, it doesn't exist. So I thought, okay, we have to do something and I need to, you know, put something out there to
But
represent this.
this point opened one of the biggest door. It's about the classical music environment,
Hmm.
like because for example, I'm not a a graphic designer, but I like the aesthetics and I when I walk on the streets, I'm at train station and here in Switzerland. You see in the tram station or the train station, you find always all these advertisement for concert or shows in general,
Yeah.
and some of those were are very lame. I mean, I they wouldn't
That's what you
like tell me,
said.
okay, of course, if you read like Mozart Requiem, okay, I
Yeah.
say, okay, that's the because you know the program, you know that it's very interesting.
Yeah.
You
I
say
mean, if you
that's
know
nice.
it, if you know it. Yeah.
Yes, but then you see all these kind of, I would call it lazy artworks
Hmm.
and a lot of writing in it, so very confusing. And then I think, will really people read this or like get into that? And so classical music seems to me that s- keep struggling, or
Hmm.
like organization keep struggling to offer like kind of innovation how they want to show a project, an orchestra or a concert. Like I just know one orchestra that like they decided to open the mind to like a graphic designer, and this person made for me an amazing job because it was more fresh, more interesting. And I heard also from audience feedbacks that, oh, that was nice, it was something new. You
Yeah.
know, nobody really said, "Oh no, you know, I like the way it was." They felt like this is show us that this orchestra is really trying to step up with the time, and you know, just to being fresh and not just stay there in a safe space. But it seems to
think
me that it's still a
the
struggle.
struggle is just the same with these different like, people. The same thing we talked about social media. You just have so many different people who attend these concerts, and you want to speak to all of them. So in the end, you try to please everybody, which is impossible. You have to choose um, one style, and then you talk to one audience. And what I think also is that in some way there is this new style of how you could present um, classical concerts in a new way. But in my opinion, it has even this new form has rules.
hmm
Like I don't know if you get what I want to say, but
Yeah, yeah. Just understand
like some
how.
people try to do something and then like people I feel like people are so insecure. They're like, oh, okay, they tried to do this, so okay, so this is the way, so let's do it like this, and then in the end it's like newer but
Mhm.
still in the same style.
Yes. And this is interesting because I was talking with some, let's say, older people,
Yeah.
you know, and I asked them, I had the chance to ask them, hey, how do you felt looking the new, the prog, just the booklet of the concert and everything. And I was very surprised because many of them were very happy to
Really
see this freshness, this
cool.
kind of, they say, oh yeah, it's very, they also use like the term more young, and like it's like some organization or maybe have really fearing that, as you said, who is the target, who is the audience of that,
Yeah.
and they think no, they are used like this, so they don't want to change. They will accept this evolution, and on the other side, I think nobody really asks directly to the audience, and I noticed that people are really enjoying that. Really, I just saw a lot of people come listen to some concert in Germany, and they
Mhm.
came and they buy the small book with more information, not just the program. There was
Yeah.
some notes about what's going on, and they were really really. They say, oh, I
I
think
mean,
it's a nice way,
in
and
classical music, we also have this style. We still do real programs, like
Mhm.
physical programs. So it's really nice if something is created nicely to take it home, to have it with you. I really enjoy having like flyers where I sang, for example, if they're
Yes.
created nicely. I love to keep them. Like I keep everything, but I like it when it's done in a professional way. And yeah, I mean, of course,
Hmm.
people with good taste in music have probably also good taste in design.
Yeah, I
Maybe
guess
it
so,
goes hand
but
in hand. I don't know.
it's the fact that not be scared. Really, just try because and there is no like one rules. It's just that if we take the schema of social media where there is somebody inventing like this kind of short reel or video, and then you see everybody like starting copying or directly copying paste the
Yeah.
video or
Mm.
what they're saying or the kind of style, and then after 3 months or less
Hmm.
everything is forgotten and nobody oh, do you remember that sketch or that? Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
old. No, it's not old, it's like 6 months old. Like. And so I saying so it's just that trying not to copycat everything, because as you said, you need to understand how it really, how is the perception of that. Like I saw some companies or some ensemble trying to mimic and copy some of the typical or stereotypical real format,
Hmm.
and it wasn't funny or it wasn't not attractive. I mean, I
Oh,
really
yeah.
respect the effort, don't get me wrong. You need to try it, you fail, and then you learn. um but it's just that, as you said, you need really to understand, and of course, as I also noticed, uh, even older audience enjoying this kind of new fresh air. They feel part of the changement of a new younger musician on stage and everything. And on the other side, you really need to understand. Hey, wait, what are people interesting too? Like in my case, I got a lot of feedbacks when I put those kind of time lapse video of the stage setup from empty stage to you see you bring the instrument in, you build this and that, and I always thought, yeah, that's interesting for me, but I always thought maybe it could be lame. But it seems that people are really more in what is my business is more interested into that. And I personally, I really appreciate like when singers or like even musician really show like what is before the show, what is the after, the preparing of the instrument or what they're doing. Like I got a couple of friends singers do that. They show how they warm up the voice, the makeup process. You're working in opera, they're very good, and I think this is kind of very interesting things because you see that this is a format that belongs really to, uh, I would say, the classical music, the performance in this ambient, and it brings out in also interesting things that are maybe more in vogue in other topics. Like, okay, you are receiving like a professional makeup for the opera you're singing or playing, and you show the process and oh, that's interesting, because I always thought this kind of format just for 100% and just makeup tutorials, but now I see in practical use, that it's different. And or like there is a lot of cosplayer nowadays, people that really makes their own clothes, and I got a lot of respect for this person. I know nothing about that. I'm not even a nerd in that kind of words, but I was thinking in my mind there is the comparison, like working 2 seasons at the opera in Zurich. I really so when how his dresses are made for every productions and everything, and you see you find this kind of level of like, oh, it's similar, and so you can really catch the interest of other people really for other profession or
Yeah.
areas, and this is why I think it's important to try it, but
Mm,
at the same time, and maybe I'm very critic here, but I still think that the classical music business should really just lose a little bit and just go for it because, I mean, this is what I see here in the Swiss reality.
mhm,
And I don't know, maybe they just have the wrong person working on the marketing or stuff like that, but just not be scared to show themselves or
mm.
propose a program in some ways. But then, of course, there is the other big question because we all know, I mean, even myself working behind the scene, I felt insecure on many things. So of course there is also not just insecurity on what you want to show of your profession, but also what you want to show about yourself. Because in the end,
Sometimes you
it's
can't
you.
also show everything because the work, for example, in opera, um, is made by the opera, so in some way it's protected. You cannot just
Yeah.
film the whole outfits before the show, or I mean, it depends. You just have to ask, and then you have to get the permission because it's work. Somebody has made the dress and the whole creation, like the costume designer is the staging and everything. You can't often you can't show it before the premiere, for example.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally understand that. Yeah. But even, taking having the effort to ask or inform yourself, hey, can I just make a time lapse of that or take some picture or show what's going on? I think it's important because sometimes you are there and you're living this moment and say, oh, this is will be something interesting to show or to
Yeah,
also to not maybe not just in a video, but that specific picture to say, oh, I was there, I was there, and then people also understand also your how you are what you're doing because honestly on social media you see a lot of things but you don't really understand this is not the reality. I'm totally honest with my clients. I say, I put on my social media what I'm doing, but of course in between maybe this project and the other one there was like 2 months of like almost nothing or like I say almost nothing, but maybe in this month I'm more at home preparing
I mean
stage
that's
plans and
another
everything. But
question. Like, what is count? What has to be counted as work? Just because
Mhm.
you're not on stage does not mean you're not at work.
Yeah, right.
That's just the social media rule that you are only working when you're on stage or whatever. But it's preparing the roles. It's like doing auditions,
Hmm.
traveling, organizing schedules. I mean, it's everything is work. Oops, sorry. Yeah,
No, but I think this is could be interesting because once again I was talking with the young musicians and he is part of an ensemble and they asked me some advice and one of the point was the paycheck. Of course, that they're always the
yeah,
biggest question. I say, okay, guys, okay, I know you are like young, you don't have many experience on stages or bigger stages, but you need to think you have like maybe 5 years of studying
yeah.
intensively. You really had the chance to maybe to play in that orchestra for this experience. Then so it's not that you are just fresh off the boat, you really had already a background. So
Yeah.
I understand you can ask the maximum price, but you cannot even ask just like almost nothing because it's not correct. And then once again, sometimes you need to learn how to explain to the people who would like to hire you or they want to
Yeah.
start some the organization of events, why there are some cost. And as you said, the fact that you're preparing before you're looking for the score, you start rehearse at home and
Mm.
learning these and that. So there
Those
is
are
a lot of good
expenses. You
job.
pay other pianists. You
Yes.
you have your voice teachers. I hope. I mean, it's But I think it's very hard to raise prices. I'm not good at it. I have a hard time, yeah. Because it's
Hmm.
really often you work also with friends, which is amazing. But it's the so you are friends, but then you are also working partners,
Yeah,
and
but this is business in the
you
end.
want to support your friend's idea, for example, and then you see how the budget goes. You see that it's gonna be complicated, so you cannot just go there and be like, I deserve blah 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 blah. But
Hmm.
so yeah, it's hard. So I really prefer to sometimes just to um, send my agent. That's like a good part of it.
Hmm.
She's really well with these kind of things, and then it's also not coming from you, it's coming from somebody else.
Yes, it's also kind of a
Just to talk
praxis of
about,
society.
to talk about the worth of your work
Hmm.
is really hard sometimes. So
Yeah, I mean, having an agent is kind of is also sounds quite more professional because we are used to like that at certain
yeah,
level
but
also,
like
right?
for some things you cannot send your agent, for example. If you know, I mean, in my opinion, if you know the people personally, it's I think it's really weird if you
I mean,
you
it's
know,
just if he is doing, yeah, like all the bureaucratical job for you. I
yeah,
mean, I think it could be like legit to say, hey, send email or send information to this person because he's dealing with everything.
yeah,
Because honestly, being also a manager or a booking or something like this, it's there because it should like allow you to have less stress or less things to do. What we're saying is about having like a manager or a booking agency like is supporting you, all of you to have like a lot of more time for yourself, like your private life, of course, but also to, of course, you need to prepare all the jobs is already planned. But about these things about working with friends, I can only bring on the table two things. First things first, your friends should understand because they know the struggle. And so it's like supporting each other in some ways, and you can decide in which condition. The practical example is this podcast. I got the logo made by a friend of mine. The jingle on YouTube is produced by an amazing Italian graphic designer called Caterina. Shout out to Caterina, and even the music and everything. And I pay for that, and they are friends of mine. Are all friends of mine.
mm.
And some of them ask me, hey, I like your project. You shouldn't give it. I say, no, you know what? This is business. I
No,
mean,
no, of course, I
and
think it's very important to pay people correctly, even though they're friends, just for your own energy. I believe in it. Yeah. Mm.
yeah, I mean, it's a machine that
To
if it's
respect,
worked
show
correctly.
respect to other people's work, I think. Yeah.
Yes, yes. It's like really a kind of supporting and but I understand that nowadays society is very competitive, it's really harsh and very hard and sometimes can be like some kind of discussion or no incomprehensions about that. But
Yeah.
once again, communication is the key. And I think if you are then you're working with people also dealing in the hard business, they know the struggle. So, like I think it's something that I had to learn. I mean, don't get me wrong. And now I'm here on this podcast just saying, speaking like kind of, oh yeah, you need to do this and that. But I get through the hard way, to get
Oh,
there. So, but once you learn that, I think that also you earn a lot of respect in that because nobody is putting in discussion if you are or not a good artist. It's just about how you promote yourself because
mhm.
we were talking about social media, we were talking about websites, and now we were really talking about how should I even get in touch with people and everything. I can do this on my own? Do I need a manager or do I need a booking agency? Well, this is, I think, it's all tactics that you need to choose, but it's all about the communication. What do you want to show about you as as an artist? But do you notice like that there was like really an improving and a transition? Like if we talk about in a range of 5 years,
Yeah.
like of course, the career evolves and everything, but everything goes step by step. Did you really notice with the introduction of also you being more active in maybe in some activities like on social media like this, also something changing the way people were looking at your activity as an artist?
Yeah, I strongly believe that. Yeah. I mean, at some point I chose to go for it,
Mm-hmm.
and also to be to choose an aesthetic or like a persona on a Nero that I like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and to take up space. And yeah, I think it helps a lot of how you are being perceived. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, and then there was some struggle in the beginning for you to like to be scared about the of this was the right way of the right Anna that
Struggle,
appear. Yeah,
struggle, everyday struggle. It's like
struggle every day.
completely normal to struggle. That's what I tell myself. It's absolutely normal to be scared. It's absolutely no, it's normal feelings,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
because you try to push through something. Your brain does not know the outcome, so of course you don't. Yeah.
mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm,
I was really excited to go on this journey also, and to be more on the creative side, for example, to not just on the consumer side. Um, so
mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I have a question more about your practical job really on stage.
yeah,
I saw a couple of the in the last year, a couple of programs I also work on, where let's say the classical opera, like the main titles,
mm,
let's bring like Verdi or Mozart,
yeah,
like
very,
that usually they had like a representation very old school classic. They got like it seems that you need to wear this kind of clothes. There needs to be this kind of scenic presence and everything.
yeah.
Nowadays they try even something new, maybe more minimalism or maybe more modern. As you as a singer on stage, do you how was your feeling? Do you appreciate the fact that it seems also the aesthetic part is kind of going to another direction, or did you also appreciate when sometimes it's really more traditional, let's say like this?
What are we talking about? Scenic work or about singers'
No, no,
clothing?
scenic work, like well.
Mm, I think we need to have both. We need to have very classical productions. I often find that young people enjoy also really um, conservative productions,
Hmm.
because that's like their dream of opera. And I think we should give young people the experience of really enjoying the real story, how the story was written in
Hmm.
the.
Hmm.
And then we also play choose to show opera in another way, more modern costumes. um I think the respect for music just always has to be there, that there is for us singers, the music is the most important, and that we really honor the work, the
Yes.
composer's work. uh
The masterpiece is there.
the masterpiece
Like
is
the
there,
score is that
writing is
one.
there.
Is there, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I love to really get to know the real idea, because sometimes you, with these new ideas all the time, you don't even have the chance to enjoy the story.
Yes, I
Because
totally get it. Yeah.
I mean, some people just, they always want to reform the, like, bring up their new idea, and sometimes it works and sometimes it does not work.
Yeah, I mean, like in the hardcore scene, people say like, "Don't forget your roots," and
Yeah,
it's a way
never.
this is important, right? Just to, of course, it's welcoming something new. Like, my experience at the opera, I remember they made like Così fan tutti Mozart, and they make like everything like in a in an apartment building.
Yeah.
but like nowadays. And of course the dynamics were the same of the traditional opera. It's just the scene where people were like very normal, let's say usual normal clothes,
Mhm.
and stage elements, like there was cars, there was modern things like daily things that you use, and this was all these scene elements that were on stage. Or like on the other side, there was this really huge welcoming of minimalism. And I saw the Nabucco, Verdi's Nabucco, and it was just like this wall, green wall, moving
So
forward,
hard to
backward,
make it,
and
crazy hard to
and
just
I,
be in
I
any.
don't know. I thought, though, of course, musically you couldn't say
Well,
anything, but I don't know if it was kind of interesting, but at the same time, the whole
yeah.
opera like this, it seems to me like very, very extreme. I
Hmm.
mean, but in the end, those are tastes, my personal tastes too. But uh, of course, it was still a very interesting experience just to see how can you imagine, the same
Yeah.
product, the same opera, but with this kind of optical way,
Mm.
because that's I think fascinating of that is that really you're sitting in the concert hall, you hear, but also you see and you feel the music totally in a different way, and the eyes may also have their own.
Yeah, and
Um,
it also, I mean, it is aesthetics. It's all art. That's what it makes so beautiful. So this combination of the scenery and yeah, so it can be very, very interesting to have modern productions.
Yeah, because going back on the topic of the social media, I was like, is that you see we like using the word through word media medium really just you see we are already part of a new wave, or like is a new generation or more even two generation really used to look at their phone or on their computer about they still looking for information and to see things that normally you wouldn't or couldn't see. So even this approach, there was it happens to me to see some what was it? I totally forget what it was, but I remember it was like I was more into baroque music. So, and they really put out like a short videos, and it were very dynamic, very interesting. Say, oh, that's very catchy, because the rhythm were very modern.
Baroque is so catchy, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I know. I think it will have soon a very, very huge revival. I got this
Oh, we have it
feeling,
already. No, no, the real
right?
here. No, no, of course, of course. Mm.
And this is just amazing. But it's just really just to not be scared to accept that this changement, even in the way things are going, like. And I don't know, I've been very, very skeptic about entering the social media thing years ago. And I don't know, it seems to me to be like, okay, it's cool, it's fun sometimes. I mean, I'm one of these guys who share a lot of meme with friends. But like at the same time, it's in kind of if you're not on that, you have no chance. It's
I don't
hard.
know if you have no chance. I think it has to fit for you the way you want to live the, the way you want to show up in the world.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So,
Personal choice, I think. Mm.
so, I mean, that's maybe the most difficult question sometimes I ask, but I need to put that on the table as a, um, do you have a very proper advice, for young musicians or young singers now, just how they
I
should
have been asked
approach,
like
like,
a few times, and I always say the same. Go for it. Go for it. 100% go for it. And don't be ashamed to write to these people, get to know people, um, you know, knock on doors, even though they may not open, they will. maybe open up in a few years. You never know. But
Hmm.
this and go for it. Believe in your idea. Believe in your vision,
Hmm. Hmm.
and we need you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think the most I think can start like this building like kind of communities to build like some kind of yeah, self-awareness of what's going on, what's the plan, what's the goals, connecting people. And yeah, I mean I also had the chance to meet a lot of incredible persons that the crazy part, I think, is that people that living literally on the other side of the planet, like so, but you are able to get in touch and to have a talk or like just really to share experiences. So, but if you also I think being able to do that and find your own rhythm or and your own aesthetics in doing that, it's the maybe the most challenging part, but in the end, it can
Yeah.
be like a huge reward.
I think for me, it was also very freeing to be in France now. I live in
Hmm.
France, I live in Strasbourg, and I work there at the opera in Strasbourg, and I had some distance to uh, Zurich, to
Hmm.
Switzerland. So that gave me a little more space to breathe and to and also I think France is different because it's freer. Yeah.
Yes, yes, this
So I really enjoyed this other way of thinking. I mean, Switzerland is great. Obviously, we don't have to talk about that, but
yeah, this could be
for
like
my
just
artistic progress, I'm really thankful
hmm.
to France. Yeah.
Yes, even the chance really to see really physically and living in other places and open just your mind, just and see the difference. And
As an artist, to travel, to meet new people, that also just um, gives you so much creative ideas, and if you just stay in the same place all the time,
Mhm.
it can be very dangerous, I think.
Yes, and once again, showing this doesn't mean that you're showing off that you're traveling or like it's just like oh you're always on the road. It's just to show that you're also in that moment you are really doing a life experience. It's not just about job. It's not just about uh, making more practical stuff. It's really about a human experience. So even you as an artist, you are also sharing that you are able to go out and see and also
I
taking
think
in you.
that's like no problem, probably not every artist enjoys it, but for me, I just need to, I love being in movement. I love being on the road traveling. So yeah, I mean, I accepted that I like this rush, that I like this energy,
Hmm.
catching planes. I mean, not all the time, but it's part of why I love this job also. And to get in touch with new people, like have the chance to meet new people,
Yeah,
uh,
I totally understand that.
interesting people. It's amazing.
Hmm. No, no, I get it. I get it. The same for me. More tour manager
Yeah.
and maybe just stable on one places, and I really enjoy that because I found kind of the right balance in between work
Mm,
and travel and even take time for myself while on tour.
mm.
So it's not just like, okay, you go somewhere, but then you sit in an office, like in a normal day job, even if you know that you're there. But it's not for everybody, but it's those are choices. Those are, but also as we were saying, the fact that you're in somewhere else place and you just connect with people, with locations, and new energies and new motivational things. And I think this is the most important thing in the end for an artist, just to charge your batteries and
Yeah,
also
I
to
mean,
get new input.
I have been recharging. We did not talk about it, but I had my baby like 2 years ago,
Hmm.
and it's absolutely amazing to see her grow up and to she sings with me and she loves to play the piano and it's absolutely amazing, beautiful experience. And it took time to rebuild after giving birth, and my voice also changed. And I think maybe that's also why I'm now really, I feel like I'm really back because I took some time out. I had my child
Hmm.
and sorted things out. We moved again. mm, My boyfriend and I, we had, yeah. And now I think it's my time to work,
Yeah,
to back.
that's
And
amazing. That's the spirit, and that's an amazing message to all the audience. Like, there is different dynamics in life, different situation. Of course, you go through the learning by doing process, and every time you grow up a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, and then when it arrived that moment that you feel it, that's my time. That's I feel in balance. I understood what is important to me, which are my what are my values and everything. Then you start also um, improving in that, and but also
yeah,
show them to the world, and
I
then
think
that's
it's
me.
also with COVID and everything that really like ruined a lot of really great things for me, unfortunately. But I had the chance to create this family and to be, I sorted many things out and got much clearer on my vision, how I want to live my life, and yeah. So and now I feel it's okay. I'm here. So
Hmm. Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel Anna. I can see you really in a very good balance. You're really in a very good place, and it's very warm heart because I was as I had said in the beginning of the episode, we know each other for a couple of years. We follow careers thanks to the social media because of living distances, and we're not crossing paths like regularly like before. But as I said, it's amazing to see and that has to be an example for artists struggling out there that it's not the life just giving just you lemons just like this. It's just really it's a chance to build something, go out
yeah,
there,
and
have your
also
experience.
you have to meet the right people
Hmm.
that want to work on your project and to be there for you. And for example, now my vocal coach, I found finally my vocal coach, but that took time. And
Hmm.
I found the people that I want to work with now, and I hope to find even more people that I can share my vision. Um, but it takes time to build all these relationships and also mentally to get to a point where you have found strength and the power to go for it
Hmm. Hmm.
after your studies. I think many people agree with me. You have to um, chill, to relax a little bit because the program we go through is just really intense.
Yes.
And then you're done, and then what's next? And everybody's asking you, what are you going to do now? So, and yeah, maybe you don't know. So it takes time
Hmm.
to,
Yes, like there is this sentence that sounds like I guess that people repeat and repeat and repeat, but it's true. It's trust the process.
yeah.
Because this is true, and
Mhm.
I can speak from my experience, and I see in other people. I see you after this talk on this episode, like, yeah, it works. This is like it's like this. So just don't give up. Just keeping that direction. Go for it. Keep doing good arts, producing good music, and be yourself
Yeah.
and don't be shy to also to show that just to connect about the topics we started the episode about the social media things the way you want to show you to the world your energy and your power. Anna, we are closing this episode. That was just amazing to catch up with you.
Yeah.
I think it's always important to listen to and the experience of our people. And thank you for your time and thank you for sharing your thoughts. It was very, very nice. Of course, for all the listen, all the information, if you want to have a question for Anna or you have want to connect to her, I will leave all the links in the bio of the episode. You find everything you need. Don't be shy. Just let's create this connectivity in between people. Let's build this networking. Thank you very much, Anna, and I hope to see you in another episode.
Yeah, that would be really nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for inviting me. It was a pleasure to talk to you. And don't be shy to reach out to me via Instagram. You can find me at Anna Nero and also my homepage, annanero.ch. .ch. Sorry, I live in France. um, and yeah, I'm looking forward to hear from you. And I wish you a wonderful day.
Thank you very much. This was Music to Live for with Shanti. Take care, guys.